Welcome to the final episode of the Denim Jacket Series. I'm Den, this is Den and Denim, the channel where we explore Levi's vintage clothing. The previous episodes explored the history of the jacket from blouse to trucker, spanning 150 years. Now, we are going to discuss over 200 years in a single garment. This is the Sack Coat episode. Help make more content like this possible. Be a subscriber and pass it on. The coat of many names. Chore coat, barn coat, utility jacket, hunter's coat, sack coat, donkey jacket, engineer coat, and worker jacket. This is a garment that descends from the tradesman's smock, but establishes its identity in the Industrial Revolution. Industrialization kicks off from Britain with the steam engine. You need a tough garment with handy pockets. You also want an any size fits all over your clothes in all 4 seasons. A style of this coat, hanging to the waist with pockets, becomes as popular as the factory system. Still, think about this time, early 19th century, 1820, it's still something typically made of English wool. By the mid-1800s, France had industrialized. And this is the jacket worn by its factory workers. While America was slow to industrialize, the sack coat jumped the pond within a decade via the military uniform, made of wool. It's these 2 parallel histories of the jacket we shall look at. Between its second and third revolution, France had time to industrialize. These burgeoning bourgeoisie factories needed to clothe their workers with a cheap, ready-to-wear, pret-a-porter garment. The climate in France is much more temperate than England, so cotton would replace the wool. Le bleu de Travers was born. The color blue is symbolic for France, for the ideas of the new country. Historically, blue is expensive and reserved for royalty, but with the cheaper processing of indigo, the color was easy to produce. It hid the stains from coal, dirt, and blood. The other reason was to distinguish workers from managers. Bosses could stay clean, so they wore white. While factory workers in France wore the coat, it quickly became a national style due to its ease of production and usefulness in any task and climate. The bleu de Travers was worn in France across the board for workers in all industries as well as artists. Not only did artists wear it, but they also painted it, as seen here in Edouard Manet's Corner of a Café concert from 1878 to 1880. Throughout the 20th century, the bleu de Travers continued to be worn as it made its way into the French national identity as much as the beret and baguette. New York City street photographer Bill Cunningham was well known for always wearing his French work jacket. The 20th century is seeing a boom of reproduction for the new desire of this classic garment. Blue versus gray. When the dust settled, factories were springing up throughout the land. Levi Strauss wanted to make a coat to sell with his new XX waist overalls. The strong and versatile coat of the working man was an obvious choice. Levi and Jacob chose blue because indigo is cheap and plentiful in California. We can see sack coats in as early as the 1880 catalog. The product guide lists the blouse, a 4-pocket sack coat, and a hunting coat. The Levi's booth from 1898 at a traveling trade show features the sack coat. A catalog from 1899 shows sack coats as well. The single pocket was available in 9-ounce denim only, and the 4-pocket could be made using any material to match the engineer overalls. The price list from 1903, notice the 30 years, that would be since 1873, This shows us the sack coat in a few variations. The 514, blue and gold, non-XX, not Amaskiag denim. 524 gray, 534 black. In the 200 series, 214 single pocket, the 215 four pocket, 223 8-ounce black denim, and a 267 10-ounce duck with corduroy collar. Our oldest relic in the Levi's archive vault comes from 1899. It might be called the Shane coat, named after the owner who discovered it. Plus, Shane is the pinnacle of Western films. This is a new addition to the archives from 2020, so no recreations of it have been made yet, but I anticipate something in the next year. We can see this is a special coat because of the shank buttons and rivets. This might be a 514 sack coat, or it could be an engineer four pocket. The next oldest item is a 1910 blanket line sack coat. Four pockets held by threaded stitches instead of copper rivets. The brass buttons are not secured as tightly as the higher quality iron shank buttons. The sack coat becomes a desirable product in the twilight of the Old West and the modernization of the 20th century. It hit a peak in the 1920s, both for Levi's and its competitor Carhartt. By the Second World War, the jacket fell out of production from Levi's. But this is actually where the story gets interesting. We can see some coat-like items, such as the Bing Crosby blazer from 1951. It's really the 1957 Jailhouse Rock Elvis movie that shows where the sack coat has been. Levi's made black denim pants and a matching sack coat for the film. The importance of this for our video is the sack coat never disappeared. It moved from being sold as a catalog item to general consumers to being sold in bulk to prisons. The sack coat was incarcerated for most of the 20th century. This is best portrayed on screen by Paul Newman in Cool Hand Luke. Levi's wasn't done making denim coats. They were pushing the jackets and truckers more, but we see the semblance of the sack coat in the orange tab safari coat. But the sack coat and its boxy silhouette, made of denim material, would brand its wearer a troublemaker. Now, who would want to dress like that? Enter gangster rap. Tupac dons a denim sack coat, while American photographer Billy Cunningham wears a French workwear jacket down the street. Two coats sewn from the same cloth. A mighty journey for one coat that began as a symbol of a new age. Levi's vintage clothing recreations will include the 1873 hunter's coat in duck, an 1874 hunting coat in kangaroo, a four-pocket sack coat. Some are attributing this to 1840s as the year to the jacket. The buttons look 20th century, and riveted garments were not invented until 1873. I'm going to give it 1880. We can be certain of that. It is a beast of a jacket. Very nice denim. Notice the split seam flap in the back, like gentlemen would have. And there's a three-pocket vest to match. 1890, lot 3356, indigo check sack coat with matching overalls. I have the overalls, I love them. This is 61% linen, 39% cotton. I think they're more of a women's garment than a men's, but in the summertime, for gardening, just sitting around the house, perfect item. 1900 and 1901, 213 single pocket sack coat. Just like the Type 3, the years are one off between what they made in the 1990s Japanese collection and what they made in the American over the next decade and a half later. That's why you'll have a 1900 and a 1901. There's a rigid and distressed versions of these. There's a vault blanket line that's accredited as 1915, although it looks a lot like this 1910 historic version. The 1915 sack coat, lot 67, is the most common that you will see. It's what I have. It comes with a 4-button closure, 2 chest pockets, although one of the chest pockets has a pen pocket and you access the other one from the side. 2 hand pockets and an inside poacher's pocket, is what you call that. Brass buttons with the Wonka style and an oilcloth 2-horse patch. No rivets on this garment. There is a prison edition of the 1915 Lot 67 sack coat, and it features a prison number on the back. For the 1920s, there's the Lot 71 sack coat. This is called Express Stripe. Historically, it would have been known as Hickory Stripe. Also for the 1920s, we have the Sunset sack coats, which are more of a cotton cloth, not denim. Comes in brown, pink, muddy yellow, mustard. I'd like to include the Bing Crosby limited edition tuxedo in this, which, if you buy the coat, comes with the garment bag. There are 1947 501 jeans to match, which are tuxedo style, meaning they have the selvage line running on the outside. And there's also a red shirt to go with this, if you want the entire tuxedo. The safari coat, orange tab, late 60s. There's also a donkey coat and a navy coat. Concerning the fit, that's the beauty of the sack coat. It's really a one-size-fits-all. Buy any size that your pits will fit, and it works. You can wear it tight if you downsize once. Wear it like a shirt. You can roll up the sleeves if you upsize, and let the pockets just hang. I'm a typical medium wearing a medium, and I have a tiny bit of armpit shoulder room. It fits me perfectly at the wrists, but I have an exceptional large amount of belly room to work with, so I can wear some thick sweater underneath it. The reason it's called a sack coat isn't because it's oversized like a sack, but because it has no front darts. It's meant to be just this one seam down the back, kind of like a T-back, but not. It's a simple sewing, a lot fewer pieces than the denim jackets would be. While Levi's historically made many sack coats, the LVC collection is limited to the relics we have available. The sack coat of Lot 67 and 71 are not XX, and we have some similar features to the Lot 201 overalls. You want to pair them with some pants or jeans? The 1873 Hunter's coat in duck. Get those with some 1873 duck pants. Get the vest to match it all together and be Mr. 1873. The 4-pocket sack coat? Put those with the original 1873 XX waist overalls. Because of that back flap seam, almost like penguin tails, I would say put those with the 1878 pantaloons would be the best choice. 1890 Lot 3356 black and white indigo check has matching overalls. 1900 and 1901 213 single pocket sack coat with a pair of 1901 501s, or the bunkhouse 1906 501s. Can also go with an early version of the 201s. 1915 Lot 67. Here's another gentleman's combo of a 4-pocket 1910 or a 1901 with some spring bottom pants. That goes with 1915s or 1920s 201s. I like to think that it was gonna go well with the 1915s. Some people say that the Lot 71 sack coat in Hickory stripe goes with the 1915 golden handshake. The Lot 71 sack coat in Hickory stripe might be the one they intended to go with it. The 1890 linen
checkered coat has matching overalls.
The Bing Crosby limited edition gets you the greatest Canadian tuxedo of all time. 1920s sunset coats? Put those with some chinos. Now, if they ever did make an engineer's coat, they would go perfect with this Lot 66 bib overalls. The safari coat, let's put that with some bush pants.
And that concludes the Denim Jacket Series. Quite an ambitious project I set before myself, and I'm really proud of the work I did. I'm itching to get back to jean reviews, and then I'll do leather jackets. I'm a type 1, but I love my sack coat, and I'm interested in getting a triple pleat blouse. What about you guys? Let me know in the comments. As always, thanks for watching Den and Denim.